Welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. Today, having a close look at the penguin. But before we do that, quick word from our sponsors and roll those credits.
PCBWay are proud sponsors of the channel. They offer industry-leading 3D printing services covering all types of materials and processes. They also offer industry-leading online CNC machine services from milling, machining, and turning in all the materials you could possibly need. They also offer a fully online prototyping PCB service. Everything from assembly through to design, you can do it all online with an easy system to use for quality. So for all of your needs, check out PCBWay in the link in the video description.
Right, welcome back. Now, I previously have never done a lot of comic book stuff. I tend to do more film and television. But scrolling through Facebook groups and this popped up. This model is from Wicked. Now, if you haven't seen some of the stuff they produce, it's amazing, some of the models they produce. I see this and I was like, that's cool. I want to print that. And I'd previously, if you remember back, I've just done the Jack Nicholson Joker. And I see this and I was like, that looked pretty cool next to the Joker. So, grabbed the file and printed it. There's a lot of pieces to this, believe it or not. So, I printed the base. This is all resin, by the way. And this was all done on my Magforms P13. I printed the base in one piece. Stood it up on its end, printed it. It's hollowed, so, you know, it wasn't surprisingly not that much resin. Everything else on this is extra. So all of the money that's on there, all the bundles of notes, they're all printed as separate files. All the penguins are separate. All the umbrella guns are separate. All the money bag, the duck and everything like that, all separate. And obviously, penguin is separate. Penguin's made up of legs, torso, which includes the jacket, head, hat, and umbrella gun. Oh, and I think the bullets are separate as well. Now, when you do this, there are 3 different heads. There's one head that fits the top hat. There's a second head which has the cigarette holder. And there's a third head that just looks sort of angry and has got a bald head. I wanted the top hat, so I did the one with the top hat. The one with the top hat comes with a monocle. I didn't really like that, so it actually prints separately, so I just didn't do it. But I also liked the cigarette holder. So I printed both heads, removed the cigarette holder off of the head, stuck it onto this head. So now I've got the head with the top hat and a cigarette holder. So that was the head I liked, so that's the one I made. Painting this. This was actually really good to paint. This is one of the very few bases. Now, you'll know if you watch this channel regularly, we have a real gripe about bases, and that most bases are just piles of rocks. I hate that. I hate it. There's no reason. Make a base. If you're going to do a base, make it interesting. If you're not, don't make a base. Just put it on a blank, right? This one is interesting. So I actually spent time painting this base and enjoyed every minute of it. There's a lot of weathering on it, a lot of rust and streaking, and there's the water. Like I've made some like water, dirty water coming through the drains. Thoroughly enjoyed it. What I will say is when you're painting the money on this, the money takes some time, and it's not, oh, this is a fun thing I'm painting. It's really not, and there's a lot of it to do. But everything else on this, really quite fun to paint. Like I've never painted a penguin before, and then I went and painted 4. I I've never painted a rubber duck before. It was just a real fun paint job, apart from the money, which got a little bit boring. The rest of this was a real fun paint job. I've been trying to get a little bit more involved in the paint jobs, making them a bit more involved and a bit more detailed. As I've said over the last couple of months, I've come away from doing big stuff like the Ecto one and the War Rig and stuff like that, and I've come back to this size. This is the size I like doing. It brings out all the detail, and you can paint all that detail, and it's not too massive. It fits on shelves. It's not like you do 3 of these and that and you've got no room left. You could do a lot of models this size. Granted, I am out of space in mine, and I've got models on top of printers and all sorts of stuff, but that's beside the point. This is, I think, 400mm is the sweet spot for me as to what I enjoy painting. I airbrush and I brush paint because at this size you can do both. So, paint shoes on this. I'm really switching up a lot of the paints I use now. I go between now Vallejo Air, Green Stuff Weld, Scale 75, Citadel, and Pro Acrylic. So I'm using a real sort of selection now, and what I've done is I've rearranged a lot of my paints so I can actually get to all of them. And because of that, what I'm now doing is using a bigger selection of paints. I'm finding instead of having to mix the colour I want, I've actually got the colour if I actually look for it. So that's a good thing. But what we'll do is we'll show you a close-up of this now so you can see it in a bit more detail. So as you'll see, there's a lot of nice little bits on this, down to like the brass on the floor in front of him. All of the banknotes on this, you'll see, it's actually got like details embossed on the notes. So what I did with that is I used a green ink on that, and then I did just dry brushing over the top to get it a more greyy green colour, and then painted the yellow banding on. But I've got to say, next to the Joker, this looks pretty cool. And once I'd finished this and I had the Joker, there's only one thing left to do really, and that's probably for me to do the Riddler. So stay tuned, and you're probably going to see that pretty soon because I've already started it. So don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, does us a favour. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.